Icecross is back on Canadian soil. This country has played a starring role in the sport since 2006, earning it the title of the home of Icecross. Canada has given us some of the most spectacular stages and races in the sport's history. This season, we've already raced in per se on the Atlantic coast. Now, the riders are ready for the ATSX 500 in Le Massif de Charlevoix.
Welcome to Canada, welcome to the province of Quebec, and welcome to the Red Bull Icecross World Championship. I'm your host, Troy Mannering, and today we bring you an ATSX 500 race from the beautiful ski area Le Massif de Charlevoix, just outside historic Quebec City. As we near the end of the season with 3 races remaining, the championship points are close. Today will be a determining factor for our top riders, and the matchups here will undoubtedly be full of action and suspense.
In the men's competition, America's Cameron Naasz leads the standings, but is chased closely by Canada's Kyle Croxall. In the women's field, Canada's Jacqueline Legere is in the lead. Reigning world champion Amanda Trunzo is chasing her in second, but all eyes are on Maxie Plante after winning the big ATSX 1000 event in Japan. For the second season in a row, Yokohama hosted a big ATSX 1000 event. Both Amanda Trunzo and Jacqueline Legere, the favourites in the women's event, made it to the final, but couldn't quite keep up with the fast-starting Maxie Plante.
Maxie Plante wins it. Jacqueline Legere gets second place.
Been doing this for many years now. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, and I'm really happy to be here.
Drama in the men's semi-final when championship leader Luca Dallago was pushed by Kyle Croxall. The Canadian was disqualified, but Dallago was still out of the final, costing him valuable points towards the World Championship. The men's final was a close battle between reigning world champion Cameron Naasz and last year's runner-up Kyle Croxall from Canada.
Oh my God! That's definitely going to go to a photo finish.
A lot of races tonight, and yeah, pumped I could pull it off against good friends and in a good heat.
Well, after Yokohama, a shift in the standings has Luca Dallago dropping from first to third place in dramatic fashion, while Kyle Croxall, with a little help from his brother, moves into second, and the reigning champ, that man right there, takes over top spot. Jacqueline Legere has been solidly out in front in the overall. The reigning world champion Amanda Trunzo sitting just a few points back in second. Anaïs Morin, who looked very, very good from the start of the season, was the fastest skater in the time trials here as well.
This track is one of the steepest in the history of icecross downhill. So let's take a closer look at the features the athletes have to conquer.
The track in Le Massif de Charlevoix, Quebec looks to be a beauty. At 410 meters, it's one of the longer courses of the season. Out of the start, riders have to set up for the tricky left to right dogleg, which is followed immediately by a meter-high drop. Then comes a hard brake check and back-to-back 180-degree corners at the double diamond chicane. As they careen towards the long and loopy S-bend, they'll need to hold as much speed as they can for the awesome apparel hip jump. After that, the course opens up through the double table and the long ski jump. Jockeying for position and looking for the best line at the leg killer rollers is the name of the game for the final push to the finish line.
Our expert Reed Whiting will take us on board to give us his personal view of the track.
Let's do this Le Massif up here in Quebec, Canada. This is a beautiful day, beautiful track. Super fast. Let's give it a rip. And we are striding down the start. Basically, this is going to come down to who has the most guts to come full speed into this first turn. And through this chicane, it's going to get super tight here. Whoa. Wow, almost went down. We got these big rollers. I'm gaining speed, trying to keep going through this S turn. because I got this big hip coming, and I got to hit it perfect. Pick up my knees, and that is incredible. I almost hit the boards. Now it's full speed down the hill. We got these 2 big rollers. Legs are burning, and we are coming through the last turn. Wow, this track is fast. Gonna jump this last section. Woohoo! And that was a beautiful thing, baby. Red Bull Ice Cross World Championship. Coming here at La Massif. It's gonna get sketchy and fun, baby. Let's do this.
We've already gone through the round of 64. Now jumping into the round of 32, our first heat, we'll see Marco Dallago up against Matt Johnson, Max Neymark, and Louis-Philippe Dumoulin. Marco Dallago, also a former world champion. He knows what's required to be on the podium. He was one of the first guys to really focus on the gate starts and actually get out of the gate quickly. And we've seen in the last few years, Reed, that that has become a definite factor in how to win these races. Also in the mix in this one, we've got Matt Johnson, who's very quick. He's right there, shoulder to shoulder with Marco Dallago as they come towards that double diamond chicane. And Matt Johnson trying to sneak on the inside, but they are packed right together. Marco Dallago sneaks in there just behind Matt Johnson, who's now in first place. And down towards that awesome apparel hip jump. This is going to be a critical point. Marco Dallago made the pass up a little higher. Now he's opening up the gap a bit. Matt Johnson holding down that second position, but he's being challenged right now by Bruno Richard, but it doesn't, Louis-Philippe Dumoulin, but he's not going to make it. Matt Johnson manages to come across that finish line in second place, just behind Marco Dallago. So first and second places, if you're not familiar with this format, move on to the next round. Third and fourth places are eliminated from contention.
Yeah, here we can see how tight it's going to get all day long in that double chicane turn. Everybody's just off to the races coming out of there. Now we see Marco made a real nice pass on Johnson.
I was lucky to have an easy run, so I tried to really get my feeling for the track. And on the way I found out there's some soft parts now. It's warm next to the boards. The sun is reflecting to the eyes twice, so stay away from the sunny boards and then everything is fine.
All right, so it's official. Marco Dallago and Matt Johnson moving on to the quarterfinal from this round of 32. A real fair race as well. Not a lot of pawing and pushing and shoving, so nice to see that as we head to our tunnel. And we still have to load our second quarterfinal heat in this round of 32. And it's going to come from this group right here with John Fisher, Robin Whirling, Olivier Larouche, and Andrew Whirling, the 2 Whirling brothers in the mix here, who have been a surprise for both of us, actually.
Yeah, side by side there, I'm sure the brothers are pretty fired up to be racing each other right now.
Olivier Larouche on the right-hand side surprised Jojo Velasquez in their heat earlier on and actually managed to come across the finish line in second place. And he's a very fast, very good skater, but John Fisher's no slouch either. Now, keep an eye on the guy in the pink shirt. He is so sneaky when it comes to passing, and you can see already he's trying to find that line. He's got himself his jersey tied up in the back there, which looks kind of funny from the shot from behind. He's sitting in third place right now, but he definitely has the ability to pass. As out in front, it's Robin Whirling and then Andrew Whirling in second place, but here comes Fish. Great gliders, he gets down low. Nice pass around the outside by Fisher as he moves into second place to perhaps eliminate Robin Whirling from it, or excuse me, Andrew Whirling, and he does do it. Robin Whirling, great start by him, held the line and stayed out in front, and John Fisher was in fourth place at a point there and managed to come across and take second. And we were talking about those greasy passes of his.
Yeah, we were kind of joking there about his little jersey knot there. But in reality, this track at the bottom really comes down to aerodynamics. You can see once he gets through all this muck here, he gets really low and kind of almost is drafting a bit. You'll see him kind of tuck down. And as he's doing that, he is definitely gaining speed. See him there, no strides, and he just eases into a very nice pass. That's all aerodynamics. When you're getting that high speed, you really need to stay low and avoid that wind, and it worked out for him at the end.
I'm pretty confident. I know that I can pass all over this course. The speeds are so high, you just dip into a draft, and you fly by people like lightning. It's crazy.
All right, great job by John Fisher and Robin Whirling. They'll be joining Marco Dallago and Matt Johnson in quarterfinal heat number 1 as we're going to move back to the top of our course and check out the next heat, which is an interesting one because we have a local hero in here, Stephen Cox, along with Daniel Guola, Michael Urban, and Nathan Isaac. Stephen Cox is he's a local legend here. He does their summer mountain bike courses, builds the pump tracks here. He's always on the boards or on the skis in the winter. And of course, he got 3rd place in his first ever major event in Japan. So let's see how he does here for the home crowd. Ooh, a little bit of a slow start by Cox, trying to find his space here behind Danny Guola, and he slips into 2nd place. Here comes Michael Urban around the inside. Oh, Urban goes down, almost takes out Cox. Cox managed to avoid the carnage. He seems to be pretty good at that, Reed, avoiding drama on course.
Yeah, I mean, remember he took that full leap over somebody in Mont Delac. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, Danny Guola as well. All right, Danny Guola out in front. Stephen Cox right there with him in 2nd place. They've got a good solid lead on Michael Urban, but it's not over. Urban still trying to find some pressure. Cox goes across the line, flying through the air over the finish line, which is actually on the 2nd roller. So Danny Guola is going to take this one, but I think it's by a hair on his chinny chin chin. Stephen Cox gets in there 2nd. Let's watch this again. Oh, a little bit of hesitation by Cox.
Yeah, Guola had an awesome start there. As you said, Cox hesitated. Now let's watch Michael Urban coming in this chicane. He actually came in wide, carried a lot of speed through, thought he had a little gap, but hit that rut in the inside and just completely took him out of the race. For them, it was easy go for Guola and Cox as they kind of coasted down with really no competition till the very end.
Tough heat. It's just a different race. Another one in the book, and let's just keep on going.
I'm sure it's going to get even crazier as we move farther on in the rounds. All right, so Danny Guola and Stephen Cox moving on to the quarterfinals as we get back up to the top. And there you see Michael Julianello, Mirko Latti, Shane Renaud, Skylar Diamond-Burchick, Michael Iggy Julianello, very quick rider, good long strides by him usually. Mirko Latti, former junior world champion, he's looking to jump up and make an effect in the men's rounds. He's also quick out of the gate, but Shane Renaud has been a good surprise this year as a good starter, but he's in an egregious position there, but he avoids that big gash in the ice and tries to slip into 2nd place. Oh, and down goes Iggy and gives it up to Shane Renaud, who is in 2nd place now. Skylar Diamond-Burchick holding down 3rd. Iggy's going to have to use those long legs of his to catch up, and he does a good job of catching up to Burchick, but he gets a little bit too hot in that one corner, and he seems to be struggling trying to find the edge. Meanwhile, Mirko Latti from Finland out in front. Shane Renaud in 2nd place. Hopefully he'll stay on his feet. And here comes Diamond-Burchick with a great pass on the inside right at the finish line. Oh. And it's going to go to Skylar Diamond-Burchick. And a fantastic comeback from Michael Julianello. It may have to go to a photo finish between those two guys as they came around that corner. And I think both of them actually relegated Shane Renaud back to 4th place. We're going to have to wait for the final results here and see if there is, in fact, a photo finish.
Yeah, we can see right there, Iggy went down in that first chicane. Now, it appeared like there was no coming back. I mean, you got a group of good riders in front of you, and it was just an all-out battle with Shane Renaud getting past right at the last minute and Iggy jumping over the finish line. Now, let's see here. No, Burchick did take that one with Iggy going head first across the line. Shane Renaud is probably in disbelief.
He's kicking himself.
Yeah, I mean, he took it a little easy down the track. Those guys just were on his tail and made that last-minute pass.
Yeah, Shane Renaud was so solid at the top there, finding a good position, and he was in 2nd place right to the finish line, and then the other two guys, Skylar Diamond-Burchick and Iggy, powered in.
Luca Dallago, the younger brother of Marco Dallago, lost valuable points in Yokohama and has no wins yet at a 500-point event. So he needs to do well here to stay in touch with his big rivals Croxall and Naasz. But how much is what happened at the last event playing on his mind?
To admit, it's still in my head, but I'm still happy with the race in a way because I feel like I'm happy with my performance. And yeah, it ended unfortunate, but yeah, I just gotta move on, and hopefully I can redeem myself today even.
All right, here we go. Next heat in the blocks up at the top. Luca Dallago, Alex Mercier, along with Michael Romano and Joey Velasquez. Joey, who we saw had a fantastic start earlier on, has obviously been looking forward to this race, and he's in that hardcore rider's left lane there. Great start by Luca Dallago. As expected, he moves out in front. Joey Velasquez slips into third place, now fourth, as he loses an edge and goes down, and Mercier is sitting in third place. Joey Velasquez has got a lot of work cut out for him. He's about 15, 20 meters back with these guys motoring downhill. Michael Romano sitting in second place, a little bit sketchy over that awesome apparel hip jump. Meanwhile, Luca Dallago, looking very relaxed out on course, has opened up the lead on Michael Romano and Alex Mercier, and now it's going to come down to a battle for two. Oh, it's going to go to Michael Romano, but I do believe we're going to have photo finish on that one as well. It's all up in the air until our officials say, yes, that's the score at the end, but a nice clean win by Luca Dallago there.
Yeah, you can see Joey Velasquez went down really early. This was really a race for the 2 spot with Mercier and Romano going head-to-head. It looked like at the end here, Mercier was going to come through, but I think Romano got it by a toe. Let's watch it here. Oh, that was close. You know, this track is really shaping up to have some good finishes. I wasn't really expecting that with the long speed kind of section at the end, but guys are making some moves and making it exciting.
Yeah, it was a really smooth run, so I was able to take the start. And after that, like, it's really a lot more comfortable than in the back. And then you just need to watch the ice. There's some spots that got a little soft. But yeah, I made a few little mistakes, but nothing major, so I made it to the quarters now.
So Michael Romano gets the second place and moves on to the quarterfinals, along with Luca Dallago. Heat number 6 coming up here, and we have the reigning world champion, Cameron Naasz, 3-time world champion, along with Gabe Renault, Maxime, and Sam Nadeau are also in this one. Sam Nadeau is in that rough gate on the far right-hand side of your screen, and there is our reigning world champion. Cameron Naasz out of the gate quickly. He wants to pad his score with a win here, and if he can win this event, he'll add 500 points to his overall standings. Let's just see how he's doing, because in the time trials, he wasn't so fast, Reed.
He's sure looking good now.
Yeah, he's way opened up way out in front now. Gabriel Renault in second place, about good 10 meters back on Cameron Naasz. It looks like Cam took a look back, and he's basically coasting now as Maxime Nadeau goes down. Sam Nadeau sitting in third place.
There's just no reason to take chances at this point with these ice conditions.
Cameron Naasz, an easy win for him. Made it look a bit too easy. He's going to have to put some pressure on to make the other guys feel like they can keep up. Gabe Renault comes across that in second place. It was a good battle back here. Maxime Nadeau gets the worst of it over that awesome apparel hip jump. And Sam Nadeau, unfortunately, those two guys are going to be eliminated, and Cameron Naasz and Gabe Renault will be moving on to the next round.
Kyle Croxall, Cameron's biggest rival, is one of the most experienced athletes in the field. It was here in Quebec, Canada, where his ice cross journey started more than 10 years ago.
Kyle Croxall comes to win.
I've been in it for 12 years now, and my first event was in Quebec City in 2008. Those really big, steep starts, the first time going down it, I mean, everyone was pretty nervous up there, but you just had to kind of drop in and go for it. It worked out. The World Championship, I think, started in 2010. After that, it got a lot bigger. There was 4 races and then more to come after that, so it was definitely a lot more of a challenge. You have to go to every race to gain all the points to have a chance pretty much in the World Championship now.
Kyle Croxall is your 2012 World Champion.
The whole career has been great. So much travel, a lot of places that I never would have gone. Just racing and meeting new friends and going to different places has been fantastic. The game has changed a little bit. Now there's guys like Cam and Scott who are so technically good. Started off the season with a win. Had 2 seconds and a 3rd place. So 4 races and 4 podiums, which is very consistent, and I'm definitely happy with it. So just trying to finish off the year strong and see if I can go for the World Championship.
All right, next heat, Kyle Croxall, along with Antti Tolvanen, who we talk about a lot as being one of the most interesting characters out there. Levi Nakari on the far right-hand side in pink is vying for a Junior World Championship title. And Bruno Richard, he's an old dog on this one. He's been around this scene for a long time. Let's see how he manages to hold his own in this group. One thing we've talked about a lot, and we seem to harp on it, is the starts of Kyle Croxall have gotten so good in the last couple of years. But look at this kid, Levi Nakari, not letting the big man get too far away from him. Antti Tolvanen sitting in 3rd place. He's always a threat. And as we said, he's a bit of a crazy skater, but he always seems to manage to stay in the mix, and he seems to be a smart competitor.
He really is. I mean, like I said, he's kind of goofy going on the track, but he gets it done. He is really fast out there. As you see him make a really good pass here at the finish.
Fantastic pass right around that last finish corner. And that means Antti Tolvanen will be joining Kyle Croxall in the next round. Levi Nakari, who looked really good in 2nd place this whole race, got passed in those last few meters. I think that just comes from experience as well.
Yeah, Antti's a veteran competitor. I mean, I remember years ago his first race, you know, looking a little unorthodox, but he has really impressed me over the years. His progression every year, he keeps getting better and better, and he's smarter on the track. You can see he's just kind of biding his time here, stays low and makes a real nice move in that outside corner for the win.
So there you go, Kyle Croxall, Antti Tolvanen moving on to the quarterfinals. And we have one more heat to go in the round of 32. That's heat number 8 as we take a look at the first 2 athletes that will be locked down in quarterfinal heat number 4. Next heat coming up in the round of 32, Cale Johnstone, Patrick Mertz, Simon Gagnon, and Justin Doherty. Cale Johnstone threatened to color the handlebars of his mustache and then cut them off and sell them on the open market. We'll see if that actually happens. Wow, great start from Justin Doherty. Moves into the first position there as he hits that.
Mertz is down and back.
Oh, yeah. Mertz goes down early on. And Doherty trying to find the line. Hey, Cale Johnstone just powered through that whole mess up there. Justin Doherty now battling it with Simon Gagnon. And Simon Gagnon has come out ahead of Doherty. Doherty goes a little bit hot over the awesome apparel hip jump. And Cale Johnstone well on his own out in front. But here comes Simon Gagnon trying to catch up with Cale Johnstone. And that's a real close finish. That was a good push from behind by Simon Gagnon.
Yeah, this is a big race for Cale Johnstone. He was eliminated early, did not make the final 64 in Japan. So he had a bone to pick here and wanted to really come out and kill it. Got 6th or 7th qualifying, looking unreal today. Look at that stride just powering through this corner. I always got to mention Simon Gagnon too, an old veteran guy, hasn't been around for a while. He is from Quebec. Coming into the quarters, I'm sure he is happy today as he makes a nice pass in Doherty right there.
Yeah, so great race there by Cale Johnstone, who's got his own fan club along for the ride, and he's going to be joined by Simon Gagnon in the next round.
Felix! Goal is definitely to make it through the semifinal. If I can, it'd be my first semifinal, so we're going for that and just see what happens there.
And we'll take a quick look at our tunnel here, the quarterfinal heat number 4, Kyle Croxall, Antti Tolvanen, Cale Johnstone, and Simon Gagnon. So there you see our quarterfinals are locked and loaded. 4 heats of 4 riders each. It should be interesting as they get a little bit more intense the closer we get to our big final.
With the round of 32 finished, we move on to the quarterfinals.
All right, quarter heat number 1, Marco Dallago, John Fisher, Robin Whirling, Matt Johnson. Robin Whirling looking fantastic again as he gets out of the gate, and he was in that ugly gate, gets a great start, comes in through the double diamond chicane, battling hard with Marco Dallago, the older of the 2 Dallago boys. but he managed to hold off the very fast, very slick skater that Marco is. John Fisher sitting in third place, trying to find a line. Johnson goes down like a ton of bricks. Matt Johnson, heavy fall at the top, and Marco Dallago makes the outside pass on Robin Whirling.
And Fisher makes
the pass as well. Unbelievable pass by Fisher. He talked about it in the interview earlier on with Caroline. Patience and just looking for that line. How greasy are those two guys getting in 1 and 2 when Robin Whirling had such a good start out of the gate?
With Fisher and Dallago sitting in the rear, they are up to something, and they both know how to keep low and draft on these long, fast sections of track, and that's exactly what they did.
Robin Whirling really got the worst of it by blocking all the wind for John and me. So, yeah, maybe it's a smart idea to don't go in first into the section after the hip jump to really don't be the wind blocker for everybody. The fish Lagos are back. Woo!
That's what we love about ice cross downhill. I mean, it's anybody's guess. Like, anything can happen from top to bottom. You can come out first, have a 50-meter lead on somebody, and lose it. All right, quarterfinal number 2, Mirko Latti, Danny Guola, Stephen Cox, Skylar Diamond-Burchick. Of course, the fans on the sidelines are really going to be rooting for Stephen Cox, but he's got a real tough heat here. Better reaction time by Cox this time, getting out of the gate quickly. Mirko Latti, I don't know if I can call that a hole shot. Cox is right there with them. Danny Guola battling hard as they come through the double diamond. Cox pushing and battling to try and save his line. Mirko Latti out in front. Stephen Cox holding down second place. Danny Guola,
Cox is down.
Cox goes down, and he is in fourth place now. Diamond-Burchick third. Danny Guola in second place. Guola goes down. It's carnage on this heat right now. Cox has an opportunity to try and catch up with Diamond-Burchick. He needs to do it if he wants to make it to the next round. He's in a bit of a tough race, but it's not going to happen. Oh, what an unfortunate turn of events for Stephen Cox as he comes across the line in third place. He's going to be disappointed. And we have a review on course by our video judge, so this one will be delayed in the decision. What a battle there. It was craziness in this heat from top to bottom, Reed.
Yeah, Skylar Diamond-Burchick definitely had a couple Christmas presents given there as both Cox and Guola went down at certain times in the course. It was just an all-out battle. As you see, Cox went down early, Guola over the hip jump, can't quite handle it, goes into the boards, and Burchick was off the race as it looked like Cox was going to make a late comeback there. There we watched Guola just get a little too high over that jump. What an incredible heat. Protest was dismissed there, as you can see on the screen. So looks like it's me, Latti, and Skylar Diamond-Burchick moving on.
So we'll see them both adding to this semifinal heat number 1, along with Marco Dallago and John Fisher, and that is a fun heat right there. Oh my goodness, how hard is that heat in the semis? All right, quarterfinal number 3, Luca Dallago, Cameron Naasz, Gabriel Michael Romano. Cameron Naasz and Luca Dallago right next to each other. Will Luca Dallago be able to get out of that gate fast enough to hold off the reigning world champion? Find out. All right, out of the gates they come. Luca Dallago trying to find a line there, but he's just a little bit behind Cameron Naasz. Oh, and he goes down. There's a little bit of carnage happening in that double diamond chicane. Cameron out in front, avoids any drama. Gabe Renault in second place now with Luca Dallago chasing him hard. Luca was right back up quickly. Luca went far and wide on that awesome apparel hip jump. Now is the question, can he find the speed and the line? Oh, he gets a bit of a push off to the side. That's his own fault right there. And Luca Dallago comes across that finish line in third place. So that means he is out in this one after this heat. He will not be moving on to the semifinals. Cameron Naasz took that one down, and it was just a battle. They just careened into a heap of humanity going into that first dogleg corner.
Yeah, let's watch this here. It was just a battle. It looked like Romano tied up Luca a little bit, which didn't affect much, but look at how tight everybody was there, and they all pretty much go down. Now, I thought Luca was going to make a good comeback here. It looked like he was going to catch Gabe Renault right at the end, but he kind of took himself out into the boards, slowed himself down, and there was just no chance. Good race by Gabe Renault, staying in first. but poor go for Luca Dallago. That's 2 races in a row. He's been a little bit unlucky, but that's the way it goes.
His first turn is tricky. I was right behind Cameron, and you just have to guess where the boards are, and I thought I followed him precisely, but I was a little more inside, and then I just got a hit from the board. And then on this final stretch, I took a bad line. I should have tried to pass on the inside. And for me, this will be my throwout result, so it was still a good race, I think.
Cameron Naasz and Gabe Renault moving on. Luca Dallago, Michael Romano eliminated from action here in quarterfinal heat number 3. Quarterfinal number 4, Kyle Johnstone, the bearded wonder with Antti Tolvanen and Simon Gagnon, and of course Kyle Croxall, who's been in this game for a long time and looking real good. Kyle Johnstone with a good start. Look at that. Tangles up a little bit with Kyle Croxall's blades, and he had to stop and slow down a little bit. Oh, and some pushing and shoving between Antti Tolvanen and Kyle Johnstone as they're really getting onto each other's cases. And now Kyle Johnstone's battling in the back there with Simon Gagnon. This one, I think we're going to see review on this at the bottom of the course. Johnstone goes into the boards but doesn't fall down, but that slows him down a lot. Kyle Croxall, the big man, out in front. Antti Tolvanen in second place. I'm really curious to know how this one's going to go down across the finish line, if we will have a review. Antti Tolvanen, Simon Gagnon, Kyle Johnstone, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And Kyle Johnstone immediately goes over to the finish official and starts waving his hand and saying, protest, protest, protest. So we will see if that gets taken on and or accepted.
Yeah, it's tough to see from the camera angle, but just the way Kyle Johnstone spun around here and pushed on Antti Tolvanen, I think he felt something on the back. Let's watch real closely in this corner here. We see everybody kind of converge together. Looked like there might have been a little pushing there. It's tough to say, but...
Yeah, it looked like Antti Tolvanen might have taken Kyle's arm and pushed it over.
It was just a scramble. We all just like...
you grabbed my jersey.
We all just collide, man.
What are you talking about?
I did nothing wrong.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
I did nothing wrong.
Get out of here.
It is, in fact, Kyle Croxall and Antti Tolvanen. Men's semifinals locked and loaded. Dallago, Fischer, Latti, Diamond, Burchik in number 1. Naasz, Renault, Croxall, Tolvanen in number 2 as we're getting closer to the finish.
Before we move on to the men's semi-final, the women will hit the track. A quick look back to the quarterfinals. The winner of the first event in Judenberg, Austria, had an easy pass in the first heat. The World Championship leader Jacqueline Legere dominated Heat 2. Behind her, a crash took out Justine Zonner from Latvia. Reigning World Champion Amanda Trunzo from the USA moved in Heat number 3 together with Austria's Veronika Windisch. Heat 4 had the winner of Yokohama, Maxie Plante, moving on to the semi-final.
Women's semi-finals heat number 1 with Anaïs Morin, Jacqueline Legere. Those two will be battling hard from those middle 2 gates. Those are the favored positions here. Dominique Lefebvre and Clémence Renault also in here. And I think it's fairly clear, depending on whether or not they can stay on their feet, that we're going to see Anaïs and Jacqueline win too. Let's just wait there. Good start. Anaïs Morin trying to find the line, and is she going to do it? Oh, she put the brakes on a bit too early, and Jacqueline Legere just held it a little bit longer, and she takes the lead around the double diamond chicane. Jacqueline Legere out in front. Anaïs Morin taking time to adjust her goggles. Not the best plan of attack here as they go through that S-bend section, heading towards the Awesome Apparel hip. Nice and clean. Anaïs paddling hard to try and take those strides, and there are those scissor jumps that she just looks funny doing those. But I mean, they work for her, whatever. And Anaïs is in a big battle right now, and whoa, she's in trouble across that finish line. Oh, Dominique Lefebvre, she comes across the finish line with a great final pass on the inside corner and a good glide, and that is a disappointing moment right there for Anaïs Morin. Amazing racing by Dominique. Let's look at this again.
Yeah, one thing, Jacqueline is looking incredible on this track. You know, after not qualifying on the top, you know, Anaïs had a really good qualifying round. It's really good to see Jacqueline really taking off and trying to really go for that world title. Big surprise here at the end, like you said, Troy. Dom taking it away from Anaïs.
Yeah, Anaïs is going to be super disappointed because she's been looking so strong this season, you know, but these are the growing pains in ice cross.
I've been riding for a while and I know a bit of the competitor, so I told Naasz, I said, Naasz, you're slowing down over there, like be careful, I'm gonna be in your ass. And that's exactly what happened, so maybe I got lucky, but you know, it's crashed, it's like that, you know, it's ice cross and the track is super fast and it's fun and you don't know who's gonna win because anything can happen, so it's great, yeah.
Quebec-born Maxie Plante was a surprise winner in Japan, her first major victory in 5 years of competition. Off the ice, she's an airline pilot in the Great White North.
I didn't think I was going to do a sport that was going to take me everywhere around the globe, and especially so close together. One day I'm in Japan, the same day I'm back in Canada, which is super weird, but it's really fun. It's a great experience. I was really surprised. I didn't expect to get out, leave Japan with a win.
Another good start by Maxie Plante. She takes the early hole shot.
I actually had no idea how close behind me they were. I just knew I had to keep on going, keep on pushing all the way to the finish line.
Oh my goodness! Amanda goes down. That means Maxie Plante wins it.
When I crossed the finish line, turned around and realized I got the win, and it was a pretty crazy feeling. I've been way further north than here. I live in Yellowknife. Minus 40s are casual there. We spend the entire winter freezing and trying to get our cars started. It's a really nice day out here right now, actually. I'm a pilot, so I fly airplanes all over the north of Canada. We fly for the mines, we fly groceries around. There's ice roads right now, so we bring the workers in and out, so we land on ice, and I've been to most of those places that nobody probably even know they exist, so it's pretty cool. I've really been looking forward to this race. The track looks amazing, it looks fast. I think it's going to be a really good time. I don't want to put any pressure on myself. We'll see what happens. I'm just going to give my best.
So our first two, Jacqueline Legere, Dominique Lefebvre, will be setting up for our women's final. Semi-final number 2 with Amanda Trunzo, Maxie Plante, Alicia Blomberg, and Veronica Vindisch. Alicia Blomberg was, for me, a very pleasant surprise how quick she has been on the lower half of the course, and that could pose problems for Amanda Trunzo and Maxie Plante, who are both very quick out of the gate. Wow, long delay on that start. That's got to get the nerves really rocking. But Maxie Plante with a good start again. However, oh, look at that. Amanda Trunzo, solid competitor, moves to the inside line. Maxie Plante trying to catch up to her now in second place with Alicia Blomberg trailing Maxie Plante. We saw Alicia Blomberg has a great push towards the end. If she can catch up with Maxie Plante, she could dash the hopes of the young Canadian to move into another final. Maxie looking good and solid. Amanda Trunzo out in front. Here comes Alicia Blomberg. This is a critical point for Maxie to hold off Alicia. Can she do it? It looks like she's going to manage it. She will manage it. Alicia with one last attempt to come feet first across that finish line and get second place, but she was just too far back from Maxie Plante. So Amanda Trunzo is going to go to yet another final, and Maxie Plante is joining her, and that is going to be a great final if we look at that.
Yeah, and just as we talked about Jacqueline's dominant run before, Trunzo leaves nothing on the table, dominates this heat, makes a really nice pass on Maxie early on after Maxie took the start. And this is setting up to be a really good final as both Maxie, Trunzo, and Jacqueline all are looking phenomenal on this track.
So another final for Maxie Plante, and wow, you know, she's been looking good. Like we've been saying, she's going to have a real tough battle as we look at this lineup. Jacqueline Legere, former world champion. Amanda Trunzo, the reigning world champion. Maxie Plante, she's been good out of the gates. Can she hold that down? And Dominique Lefebvre, who has been a bit of a surprise for us here, doesn't even have a picture up on our wall. I mean, what does that tell you right there? Could she be, you know, the spoiler for all of these ladies?
She's your dark horse. She has to be.
Well, let's not forget, too, that this is a very fast track, like you said, because of the steepness of the track. We're going from 47 meters down, so it's a pretty high, you know, altitude of the track itself as we get set up with semifinal heat number 1. Skylar Diamond Birchick, far left-hand side, right next to him, Mirko Latti, then Marco Dallago and John Fisher on the right-hand side of your screen in the pink jersey. Mirko Latti, great start. Man, he reacted so quickly there. Out in front, not much of a lead as here comes Marco Dallago around the outside, trying to find a sneaky, greasy inside line, and he does it.
That was a beautiful
my goodness.
pass.
That was a beautiful pass. He went wide on it and went inside tight on that post. Oh my goodness, what an amazing pass by Marco Dallago. But here comes Fish, trailing behind Mirko Latti. And you know that Fisher can do this. Let's see if he can manage to get himself into a final here. Oh, he does it on the inside line of Mirko Latti just before the finish. And John Fisher, once again, has gotten that crazy inside aerodynamic line, and he'll be joining Marco Dallago in the final. Holy smokes, folks, what a race.
Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, Mirko destroyed everybody off the start, and Marco left nothing on the table in that corner. He did not hesitate to make a very aggressive move on the inside. Let's watch it here.
He goes wide.
Yeah, it goes really wide, stays super low, keeps his speed, and makes a two-person pass. Gets a little aggressive there, but everything was completely legit and legal. That was amazing. And then Fisher, like he always does, just sticks in the back. Got some drafting going in this section. He stays really low and makes a nice inside pass on Latti. That was an incredible race.
Fisher, such an intelligent skater. You know, out there, it's unbelievable.
Just stay low, out of the wind, and don't be afraid of being in third for a bit. Just bite your time and it will come.
So Marco Dallago and John Fisher moving on to the final. Back to the top of the course we will go, where Kyle Croxall, Cameron Naasz, two guys that have been battling all season long for dominance, are in the gate with Gabe Renault and Antti Tolvanen. Antti Tolvanen could be the mix in this one to make things real interesting for the other two guys in the middle gates, Cameron Naasz and Kyle Croxall. And I'm really curious to see how these guys will stack up. Two fast starters, two big boys, and two strong skaters in the middle gates there. Good reaction time from Cameron Naasz, clearly been working on it. Good line for Kyle Croxall, who's got the momentum. Kyle Croxall takes it here through the double diamond chicane. Cameron Naasz right behind him. Gabe Renault in third place. Antti Tolvanen back there in fourth place. He's also a real sneaky skater as he tries to go around the outside, gaining some momentum for the awesome apparel hip. Manages to catch up a little bit, but it's Kyle Croxall and Cameron Naasz 1 and 2 respectively as they come down and will cross that finish line to move on to the final. And again, Kyle and Cameron will be battling in a 500 race in the final, just like they did in Mont-du-Lac. And Kyle Croxall had the luck of the draw in Mont-du-Lac.
From what I saw here, he is going to be tough to beat in the final. You can see everybody getting really low. It's really tight at this point, coming through that chicane. But then Naasz and Croxall just are off the races and really take control of this heat as it gets more and more spread out towards the finish. There's that nice hip feature. You see everybody staying low. So easy to get pushed to the outside there and hit the boards, but everybody was really clean in that hip. And there's our finish with Kyle taking the win.
Those first few strides by Kyle Croxall to get that line going into that chicane, and he really, I mean, he went for it, balls to the wall, to get through that line very clean and quick.
I had great heats. I didn't have a good time trial this week, so I had to give Kyle gate choice in the the semifinal round. He got first, so yeah, unfortunately I got third gate choice there, and kind of sucked. That gate that I was in was, all the ice was broken under my feet, so I was basically standing in the snow. It was hard to get out of there.
So there you go. That's the men's final, locked and loaded. Marco Dallago, John Fisher, Kyle Croxall, and Cameron Naasz. That is a big one. The fans here enjoying the beautiful weather and the fantastic racing. And speaking of fantastic racing, up first we have our women's final.
The women's final is up next, and all three favourites made it to the decisive heat of the day. Can Jacqueline Legere extend her lead, or will Amanda Trunzo fight back and close the gap again in the race for the overall title?
Amanda Trunzo, Jacqueline Legere, the reigning and former world champions. Maxie Plante, she's not in the mix for a world championship title this year, but as we said, she could play spoiler. And Dominique Lefebvre, who has been a very surprising addition to this final. It is, by the way, her first ever final in ice cross. And here we go. They are out on course, and once again, Maxie Plante with a good start. Takes a bit of an early cruise and allows Amanda Trunzo to carve around that corner at the double diamond chicane into first place. And now she's got her work cut out for her if she wants to catch up with Amanda Trunzo, who's a very, very good skater. And you can see how choppy that is through that corner there.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for everybody to catch up. Trunzo is just off to the races right now, but Maxie could do some drafting at the end here and make a final push.
Here comes Jacqueline Legere trying to find a line to get those points. Those are necessary points for her. Oh my goodness, very close at the finish line. And I think Amanda knows that she won it, but it could be photo finish with Maxie pushing hard to try and get those skates across the finish line just before Amanda.
Watch right here, Maxie has a little bit ahead. Now she could have eased over and possibly pinched off Trunzo right here, but she did not do that. And that really cost her for the race. Jacqueline was in the back, never really had a good moment to make a pass, as it was just between Trunzo and Maxie. And it was a close finish, but just not enough.
Close. Super close, but another podium for Maxie Plante, another top position for Amanda Trunzo, and of course, we're gonna have some good points going for her into the Russian events.
I needed that here, ending the season. Needed some points back. A little inconsistent on the gate start, so felt good to have some good ones here.
So Amanda Trunzo takes away the 500 points. Maxie Plante 450, Jacqueline Legere 400, and Maxie Plante, as I did say, is a bit of a spoiler here, taking away a possible 450 that would have gone to Jacqueline Legere.
I wasn't expecting that this year, but 3 podiums and 3 races, and I'm feeling great. I'm giving everything, and I'm having so much fun this year.
The men's final is ready, and Cameron Naasz and Kyle Croxall meet again at the final heat of the day. Or will we see another chapter of the Croxall-Dallago rivalry?
Our Red Bull Ice Cross World Championship ATSX 500 is lined up. There you see the lineup one more time. Cam Naasz, Kyle Croxall, Marco Dallago, John Fisher. Here we go. Good start this time by Kyle Croxall. Looks like he might get the lead as he tries to pinch off Marco Dallago. There's been a lot of drama between the Croxalls and the Dallagos, and this time Kyle's out in front with Marco Dallago in second place. Cam Naasz sitting back there in fourth with a very tough guy to pass, John Fisher, and Marco Dallago loses a little bit of an edge there, giving Fisher the chance to try and play catch-up. Fisher, very good over the Awesome Apparel hip jump. Kyle Croxall out in front, Marco Dallago right behind him. Oh, Marco Dallago makes an unbelievable pass around the side, and oh, Kyle Croxall will get those feet across the finish line.
Battle for position, I didn't fucking...
Yeah, with your hands, buddy.
Whatever.
What a stupid that.
Yeah, this just changes everything. I mean, I don't think anybody was expecting Cameron Naasz being in the 4th position. Really good start by all the riders. Coming into the finish, let's watch this here.
It's that one corner just at the finish line that he managed to take an outside line. It looked really good right here. And there's the battle between the two of them.
Yeah, it looked like that was just kind of a back and forth. I don't think there really anybody's at fault there. It looked like Kyle blocked Marco a little bit, Marco blocked Kyle a little bit. Combination, just a hard-fought battle between both of them, and a solid win for Kyle Croxall.
I've seen that guy hit people from behind and do so many things here and there in every race, so I was ready for him to come, and I was expecting him to either push me or pull me, so we battled for position, which you're allowed to do, and I got out front.
Kyle can say whatever he wants. He pulled me back. It was my win. He took it away. And again, a Croxall guy does something stupid. That's all I can say about this. It's just, yeah, I don't know.
Wow, them's fighting words right there. I mean, Marco Dallago clearly upset with the way that one went down. But we'll see. when we do finally see the overall standings. And there you see Kyle Croxall with the 500 points, Marco Dallago 450, John Fisher with the 400, Cameron Naasz with 350. So I do believe they will be tied for the overall titles points. That's going to make it really interesting in Russia. In first place, the reigning women's world champion, and on her way to perhaps taking another one. She's got a long battle on her way, Amanda Trunzo. So there it is, your podium here in Le Massif de Charlevoix in Canada.
Jacqueline Legere remains at top of the standings, but with only 125 points separating Amanda Trunzo. The battle for the championship is still wide open. With another great result, Maxie Plante again climbs up in the standings.
For the men's category, John Fisher, he's been good all day long, coming from a 4th to a 2nd, and from a 3rd to a 2nd, and finally making it to 3rd place in the final from Canada, John Fisher. Great job by him today. 2nd place, Marco Dallago from Austria. And your winner from Canada, cashing in on 500 points and tying himself for the overall lead in the standings, Kyle Croxall.
Kyle Croxall and Cameron Naasz tie in the overall standings going into the final chapter of the season. Luca Dallago is officially out of the race for the 2019-2020 Red Bull Ice Cross World Championship.